let's hope my phone doesn't fall. So I am recording in my little hallway, whatever, and my daughter is asleep, or she's going to sleep, and she's in this room. So I'm not going to be talking very loud, or at least I'm going to try not to, but this is a video that I've been wanting to do for a while. My daughter is now 5 months old, but it's something that I was kind of embarrassed to talk about when I was pregnant because I thought I was going to be judged. But I wanted to make this video just in case there's anybody else that has these same kind of thoughts and feelings during their pregnancy. So for those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Danielle, and I had my baby in October. She's my first baby, and her name is Ella. Like I said, she's 5 months old now. So I am 30 years old. I had her 1 month before I turned 30. And my whole life, I was kind of raised to kind of be afraid of getting pregnant. My mom was a young mom. By the time she was 22, she already had 3 kids with my dad. There's actually 7 kids in total, but they had the first 3, and then I was the baby for 11 years. My mom got pregnant again and had 4 more. Where I landed, I was the baby of the first 3, and then I was the oldest in the house because the first 2 moved out, and then like my parents had 4 more kids in the house. So I was the designated babysitter. And with that being said, I kind of never wanted kids because my mom always would tell me like, oh, if you have kids, your life is over. Like, you'll never be able to go like sleep in and do this and do that. And she wasn't doing it to like terrify me. She was doing it so I wouldn't get pregnant young. She wanted me to do the things that she couldn't do or didn't do, like finish school and have a career before. I feel like I'm super close to the camera. You see my mess on my counter? We have a baby station back there. Let me just go ahead and block it. Anyways, so I have the door open, otherwise I echo, but I can close it a little bit. I'm smashing my fingers. That was not very smart. My finger's stuck. Okay. Let's just go ahead and close that. You guys want me to see my counter. Anyways, yeah, I have like the baby stuff in the restroom. So yeah, so like she would tell me all that stuff, and like I said, it wasn't so she could like terrify me as an adult, but consequently that's what it did. It terrified me. I was like super scared to ever have kids. And when I met my husband, kids is something that he really wanted. Like since we met, even before we were engaged, like he was already talking about babies, and I'm like, no, not until you put a ring on it. Like, what the hell? Like, in my head, I had an order of how I wanted to do things. And it was like, get engaged, get married, you know, move in together, and then have kids, like, afterward. So, yeah. So, anyway, so like I said, I was always scared. But with my husband, I did want to have kids. Like, I actually saw that with him. But I was still terrified. So when I did get pregnant with Ella, that was actually not my first pregnancy. I had a previous pregnancy and a miscarriage back in 2017. And at that time, when I found out that I was pregnant in 2017, I didn't tell anybody beside my older sister. And it was just, I was scared. I was very scared because in my head, like I said, I had a plan of how I wanted to do things. And me and Hector were only engaged at that point, and we were literally only engaged for 1 week. So what had happened is I had told him, okay, I'll get off of birth control. This may be like TMI and side story, but I had told him I'll get off birth control for 1 month, and that's it. Like before I get pregnant, or like before whatever. So it was basically like, oh, if I get pregnant within this 1 month, then it was meant to be, and we'll have a baby before we get married. And if not, then it's not meant to be. And so that's exactly what happened. So we were engaged, and then 1 week later, I found out that I was pregnant. And during that time, I was really stressed because I really didn't want to get pregnant, even though I was like, oh, it's in God's hands and whatever happens, happens, you know. I was actually terrified. I felt like I was not ready. We still had not moved in together or anything like that. Like, we had just got engaged. I felt like people were going to judge me. And it was a very, very, like, stress time. And then I started coming around to the thought, even though I was scared shitless, and I told my sister that I was pregnant. I told her when it happened, and I was crying like out of fear. And she's like, "It's gonna be fine. Like you're gonna be fine. Like this is good. This is exciting." And at that time, I think I was 27 years old. 20, yeah, I think I was already 27. So it's not like I was super young or anything. Like we were already gonna be moving in with each other the following month, and whatever. And so what ended up happening is I found out that I was pregnant, and about 2 weeks later, I ended up having a miscarriage, and I felt so guilty like during that time frame. And I was like, well, maybe I caused this. Maybe because I was so stressed and so worried and so concerned, what people were going to think about me, like I caused this. And like I went through a very like dark period of time. I had a whole nother video, I don't know if it's still up on my channel, and I went through like a dark period of time for like 2-3 months where all I wanted to do was sleep. Like I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do anything. And at this time, me and my husband, well then fiance, we moved in together, and he didn't quite understand like the emotions that I was feeling. And I mean, he was super heartbroken because he had been so excited, finding out that I was pregnant. And then then that happened. So he was feeling emotions, but I think I took it a little bit differently than him, because I felt like a tremendous sense of guilt. And so from there, I mean, our main focus was then, getting married, and then, then we can try for a family from there. And so I ended up getting pregnant 2 years later, January of 2019. And I was excited because at this point we had been trying to get pregnant. And it's kind of funny because I was like, if I don't get pregnant by January, then we're gonna like put a hold on it and we'll try again later, because I didn't want to be pregnant on my 30th birthday. I know, so lame. And I ended up getting pregnant on January 26th, so of 2019. And I was so excited. And like when I took that pregnancy test, it was so different than the feelings that I felt in 2017. In 2017, I was like scared of what people would say. It was just like a terrifying feeling. In 2019, I was just excited. Like I felt like the timing just felt right. Like everything just felt good. And even though I was scared, like I was always like on Google and YouTube trying to find videos like, oh, is this symptom okay? Is this symptom like normal? Because I was scared of miscarrying again. There was just like a calming like energy like over me, because even when I told my husband, he was like, are you sure? Like, but are you sure? Like you really are? And especially like leading up to the first ultrasound to hear the baby's heartbeat, like it was stressful, but at the same time I'm like, no, like I know like this is like right, like we are pregnant and like everything's gonna be fine. It was like a calming presence. But during during the pregnancy, you get a lot of people telling you like the real stuff that happens like during like what motherhood is. And like I know that they're just trying to like prepare you, but they give you a lot of negative and don't always balance it with positive. And so that fear started creeping back in, where I'm like, oh my gosh, because it wasn't like, oh yeah, motherhood is just like joyful and like there's like good moments and bad moments. Like all I was hearing was the negative. Like you're never gonna get sleep again, your body's gonna change, your life is gonna be completely different, you're not gonna have freedom anymore. And it was just like all of this just slapping me in my face. And I feel like you're never really ready, to be a mom or anything like that. But it's just all of that was just kind of like attacking me. And the feelings that I want to discuss today is not having that emotional connection to your baby when you're pregnant. And because I was so fearful, and because all of these everybody from every angle like comments or this, that, and the other, they think that they're being helpful by telling you all of this, but really it's not helpful if you're not like balancing the negative with the positive. You're getting into somebody's head when they're already emotionally like vulnerable because their hormones are everywhere. And it kind of put me in a space where I had no connection with my daughter. And like I knew that I was pregnant, but like it didn't really hit me like that there's actually like a human. And I know this sounds like really, really bad, but like I was excited, but I was so scared that I wanted to stay pregnant forever. And like I didn't want her out because I'm like, no, like she's gonna ruin my life. Like my life is gonna be over, just like everybody says. Like I'm never gonna be able to do anything. And that's just like so crazy. Because when my daughter was born, like it was just like the craziest thing. Like I felt disconnected until they put her on my chest and I like looked into her eyes. I'm gonna cry. And it's just like I never loved anything more in my life. Like my life didn't have meaning before having her. Like I couldn't, you know, all of that negativity that people try to like tell you, like ignore it. Ignore it. Like yes, like my daughter's only 5 months old. Like I'm sure I haven't seen like the hardest or toughest days ever, but you just know what to do. It's crazy. Like when your baby is born, like your instincts just kick in and you know, like you know what they need, you know what they want, and it's the craziest thing. You don't even have to think twice. It just happens. And like the love that just like overcame me for this little girl, like that I not that I didn't want, because I wanted her, but I was so scared to have her. And I was just like, I just wanted her to stay in my belly because I was not ready for like the reality of what motherhood was and of like what people like painted it out to be. And that's just like crazy. So like I want to tell you, like if you're feeling like you're not connected to your baby, or like you don't want that reality of what being a mom is, or you know you don't want your freedom or like your sleep taken away or whatever that is, like I promise you, like when you have that baby in your arms, like nothing else is gonna matter. And like you may be scared right now, or you know worried or fearful of, you know, what's to come, or you know you're like you don't know what you're gonna do, because that's how I felt. Like what am I gonna do with a newborn? Like what the heck? Even though I had so many siblings that are babysat, like it was just all of these like negative thoughts. Like just try your hardest just to get them out of your head and know that everything's gonna be fine. That like your mother instincts just kick in. Like once you have this baby, it's just the craziest thing. Like the love and you know that just like overcame me is just crazy. Like I look at my daughter and I'm like, dude, what did I do before you? Like yeah, I got a little bit of extra sleep, trust me. I haven't got sleep in a long time, but it's like it's worth it. Like I'm not encouraging people who, you know, to go out and go get pregnant, but I'm just letting you know that if you are pregnant and you're feeling, you know, some type of way about being pregnant, like you know, scared, fearful, like I said, or even like you just don't feel connected to this baby. Because people would ask me, like, oh, are you excited? Are you excited? Are you excited? And honestly, I was scared. I was just scared. That was like the only emotion that I had. Like when I saw other girls that were pregnant around the same time as me, and I saw them being excited, like, oh, I can't wait to have my baby. I can't wait till they're here. And I'm like, in my head, like, I can wait. I just want her to stay in here. I can wait. I can wait. And that was just fear and negativity and stuff that you don't really need in your ear. And if you have people telling you like I understand they're trying to be real about like, oh, your nipples are gonna bleed, and oh, your hoo-ha is like never gonna be the same, and it's gonna be ripped open, and all kinds of graphic crazy details. Like just try to tune it out and like just be like, you know what, like I don't need to hear the negative. Why don't you tell me something good about being a mom? Like stop sharing the negative. Like don't spread negativity. Like even if they are like they think that they're trying to be helpful, and if you're one of those people, like don't be an asshole. Don't be one of those people. I mean, you can, if they're asking your opinion, like okay, like how was like the first few weeks, like always end it with some type of positivity, because as a pregnant person, like your hormones are already everywhere. You're already emotional. Like you don't need any more negativity. I remember like posting something and like on my Facebook, and somebody was like, oh, you better enjoy that sleep now, because once that baby gets here, you're never sleeping again. And it's like, oh, your life is never going to be the same, and your life is going to be, you know, and it's just like, I don't need to hear that. You know what I mean? Like, why don't you say, you know what? There may be sleepless nights, but you're going to look at that little girl and it's going to be worth it. Like, that's not even going to matter. It's not going to matter. It's not gonna matter. Like, what's gonna matter is your baby's health and their happiness and just them. That's what's important now. So, I don't know. I just had to get that off my chest. Clearly, I had a lot to say. And it's just, I honestly, it's so crazy, like, how much your life changes once you have a baby, but, like, for the better. Like, I'm telling you, like, nothing else matters. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I need a break. Sometimes I'm like, babe, can you watch her so I can get 2 hours of sleep? You know, if you have, especially, like, when they say, like, it takes a village to raise a child, like, 100%, I believe that 110%. So if you have supportive friends and family, partner, I mean, definitely take advantage of the help when you need it. You know, if you need a break, don't be afraid to ask them, like, hey, like, can you hold, you know, my child? I mean, I don't know, with it, with the coronavirus going around right now, you don't trust anybody unless they, like, live in your house. I don't know. But, you know, like, our families are so, like, supportive and so helpful. And when we're around my husband's family, like, we, like, everybody has my daughter, you know, everybody loves on her, and everybody's just so willing to lend a hand. We don't even have to ask. But if you don't have a family, you know, or friends to, like, or that support around you, you're still gonna get through it. It's crazy, like, what a mom is capable of doing. Like, you're still gonna get through it, so don't worry. But yeah, I was looking at my daughter the other night. I went to go visit my mom, and I had to stay the night over there because I had 2 appointments back to back, and my mom lives about, like, 2 hours away. And so it was just me and my daughter, and, like, I was just looking at her like, you're, like, so perfect. And it's funny because, like, everybody thinks that their baby's, like, the most perfect baby in the world, but they really are. And I was just, I don't know, I love her. And, like, I wouldn't trade anything. I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, even if they're like, oh, like, would you go back and go get some more sleep, or would you rather have your daughter? Like, I would rather have my daughter. And yeah. So if you're feeling, like, a little bit discouraged or a little bit in a rough place, if you're pregnant right now, don't worry. Like, it'll get better. You'll get through it, and your mom instincts are going to kick in. You're going to know exactly what to do, so don't be afraid. And yeah, so I'm sorry that I was rambling a lot. I haven't talked to you guys in so long, and I have no excuse. But thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. I have, like, pregnancy updates on my page already, like, from obviously when I had my daughter. And yeah, I'm going to be actually doing another video soon about, because I'm trying to lose my postpartum weight, or, like, my pregnancy weight. What happened was we moved and I ended up gaining a few more pounds. So, like, once I actually lose the weight, like, I'll tell you guys, like, what I did. I don't even know why I'm including that part in the video, because I still have, like, 11 pounds to go to get to my pre-pregnancy weight. But that'll be a separate video, so I can show you guys, like, how my body is looking. And yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Stay safe out there. I know we're on a quarantine here in California, and it's a little bit creepy, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm a homebody anyways, so I'm just gonna enjoy the moments with my daughter. So just enjoy the moments with your family, your friends, or whoever you're living with, and just stay safe out there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!